Yesterday, Republican Congressman Jason Chaffetz got in trouble for his comments about poorer Americans possibly losing access to their health care, and it actually got worse for him today. But in case you missed that, here is his original comments.
Americans have choices, and they've got to make a choice. And so maybe rather than getting that new iPhone that they just love and they want to go spend hundreds of dollars on that, maybe they should invest in their own health care. They've got to make those decisions themselves.
This is supposed to be a smarter Republican. Like, you have the moronic pundits saying, oh, how can you complain about being poor if you have a microwave? How can you complain about being poor if you can wash your clothes? But he's saying it during a policy discussion, which seems a little bit stupid, a little bit ridiculous. We're gonna have more from him. But the reason it got worse for him is that he's making the comparison specifically with an iPhone. Now that's ridiculous, as you pointed out yesterday. Chemo costs a little bit more than an iPhone. If you break a leg, it costs more than an iPhone. In fact, in a lot of hospitals, you cannot get a Band-Aid applied without paying more than most iPhones. But it turns out he's also a massive hypocrite, because FEC filings show that Chaffetz's donors not only pay his campaign's Verizon bills, his phone bills, which cost between $400 and $515 every month. That's an iPhone every month, but also on at least one occasion for his Apple electronics themselves. If you bring up this, we've got one of the bills of sale. They spent over $700 at the Apple store, which seems short-sighted because what if he gets sick soon? They already spent the money. But it turns out it's actually even worse than that, because since 2014, the Friends of Jason Chaffetz committee has filed more than 20 expenditures for Verizon Wireless for a total of $11,000. 700 more were spent by the committee on 2 iPads back 2 years ago, and they've spent $3,000 at Apple stores. So all of this, his devices, his access to the internet and communication, in addition to, of course, his government paid for healthcare, totally free for Jason Chaffetz, a guy who is just concerned about choice and making the right choices.
So Lee Fong from The Intercept originally broke this story, and it's a wonderful little story about hypocrisy. So as he tells you, just make choices, he never had to make a single choice because of Friends of Jason Chaffetz. Now, that's not his friends like, oh, the guy I grew up with, the guy down the street. Those are all rich Republican donors, including multinational corporations like Pfizer. So he helps healthcare companies, they help him, they pay for his iPhone, and then he turns around and says to you, why don't you just get rid of your iPhone so that you can pay healthcare companies more money?
There's every chance in the world that Verizon is a friend of Jason Chaffetz. We should look that up. I do want to play his second clip here, though, because I think it makes the hypocrisy look even worse.
People need to make a conscious choice, and I believe in self-reliance, and they're gonna have to make those decisions. Sometimes you gotta make some decisions in your life and where to make those investments in your health care, and as an adult, you get to make those decisions and live by those consequences.
It's just about freedom. You get to make those decisions. Maybe you can pay for the illness you have, maybe you can't. Aren't decisions great to be able to make?
This is why people hate politicians. So as he lectures you there, hey, as an adult, there are consequences for your decisions. But Jason Chaffetz doesn't have to make any decisions. He's like, hey, look at that. My iPhone's free, my Verizon bill's free, my healthcare is free. Everything's free for me because I have rich donors. See, I don't have to be an adult. I just have to be their boy. So if I'm just their errand boy and I say, yes, Mr. Donor, yes, what would you like? You'd like me to get rid of Obamacare? And so that saves the rich $600 billion in taxes, and it saves the bottom 90% absolutely $0 in taxes. She's like, I can do that for you, I can do that. Can you please pay my Verizon bill? I'm making choices. I made a choice to be up your ass. And so I'm Jason Chaffetz. For the rest of you, okay. Hey man, get rid of your phone, get rid of your microwave, be an adult.
Yeah. Imagine being lectured to about making choices by a guy whose phone is paid for, his office is paid for, his housing in a lot of cases is paid for, his suit is paid for, his underwear likely bought by donors, telling you about what you might have to do if your kid gets cancer.
Help us with Operation Watchdog. Help us hire 4 new reporting teams. We could be the watchers on the wall. Make sure we keep Trump and the establishment in check. TYTnetwork.com/go.